In every corner of the world, tales of dragons have burned through time, mighty creatures of fire, wisdom, and mystery. But what if these ancient legends aren't just stories? What if the dragons of old are stirring once more, hidden in the depths of myth and modern discovery? From ancient scrolls to recent sightings, humanity's fascination with dragons refuses to fade. Join us as we uncover the truth behind the return of the dragons, ancient legends in modern times, where the past meets the present and the roar of myth may echo again. The legend is awakening. The return of the dragons, ancient legends in modern times. The echo of fire and sky. For centuries, dragons have slumbered in the shadowed corners of myth and imagination, creatures of awe and terror, wisdom and destruction. From the misty peaks of the east to the dark forests of the west, tales of dragons have burned their way into every culture's storybook. But what if these tales were not mere fictions of wonder or warning? What if dragons, those majestic rulers of flame and flight, never truly vanished, but simply waited for humanity to forget? The Return of the Dragons, Ancient Legends in Modern Times explores this idea, how dragon myths, ancient prophecies, and mysterious modern sightings weave together into a haunting narrative suggesting that perhaps the dragons of old are not as extinct as we think. Chapter 1. Dragons Through the Ages. The dragon is one of humanity's oldest symbols. Long before written history, ancient peoples carved serpentine beasts into stone, painted them on cave walls, and whispered of creatures that ruled the skies and seas. In Mesopotamian myths, Tiamat, the monstrous serpent of chaos, was the mother of creation. In Egypt, the serpent Apep threatened the sun god Ra each night, embodying eternal darkness. In China, dragons were revered, not feared. The Chinese Long was a celestial being of power, reign, and fortune, representing the harmony between heaven and earth. Emperors claimed to descend from dragons, their thrones known as dragon thrones, their robes embroidered with scaled majesty. Meanwhile, in the West, dragons were adversaries. In Norse legends, Fafnir hoarded gold and poison. In Christian Europe, St. George slew the dragon as a symbol of faith conquering evil. To the Celts, dragons marked the land's energy. Where they slept, power flowed. Despite their cultural differences, every civilization spoke of dragons with remarkable consistency, scaled, winged, intelligent beings bound to the elements. This shared mythology hints at something more profound than coincidence, a collective memory, perhaps, of an ancient age when dragons and humans coexisted. Chapter 2. The Great Disappearance. If dragons once walked or soared across the world, where did they go? Legends across continents tell of their fading. Some speak of celestial wars where dragons were banished to the heavens. Others suggest a pact between humankind and dragonkind, where dragons retreated as humanity's greed and warfare consumed the earth. In the Popol Vuh of the Maya, fiery serpents vanished after the gods reshaped the world. In East Asia, dragons were said to ascend into the sky when harmony was lost. Medieval European texts claim dragons withdrew to the earth's depths, hiding in mountains or beneath oceans, waiting for the age of smoke and iron to end. Curiously, this disappearance coincides with the dawn of recorded human civilization, when science began to replace myth. Perhaps, in a symbolic sense, the dragons retreated not from the world, but from human belief itself. As we turned from faith to logic, the creatures that thrived in imagination had nowhere left to dwell. Yet, the legends whisper that dragons never died. They merely slept. Chapter 3. Signs in the Modern Sky. In the modern era, reports of dragon-like phenomena persist, though cloaked in skepticism. Strange aerial serpents spotted over China's Yangtze River. Fiery lights seen spiraling above Iceland's volcanoes. Fishermen describing massive wing shapes diving into the sea near the Philippines. Scientists dismiss these as optical illusions, drone misidentifications, or weather anomalies. But in the digital age, thousands of witnesses and countless videos suggest something more elusive. In 2019, a viral video from Guizhou Province, China, showed a massive serpentine creature soaring through storm clouds. its body shimmering like molten scales. Meteorologists called it lightning refraction. Mythologists, however, recognized something older, the rain dragon, who commands the monsoon. Similar events occurred in Wales, Chile, and Japan, countries with rich dragon folklore. In Japan's Mount Aso region, hikers claim to hear a deep rhythmic roar echoing beneath the volcanic mountain. Local monks declared that Ryujin, the dragon god, was awakening. Could these events be coincidences? Or is there a pattern, an awakening of something ancient, responding to a world once again filled with fire, smoke, and chaos? Chapter 4. The Science Behind the Myth. Modern paleontology reveals that massive flying reptiles once ruled the skies, creatures like Quetzalcoatlus, with wingspans of 12 meters. Fossil evidence suggests these predators could have inspired early dragon myths. But beyond bones and fossils, new theories propose a more mystical explanation. Some researchers argue that dragons could represent a form of biological archetype, a deep genetic memory embedded in the human mind. Just as birds fear snakes by instinct, perhaps humanity carries an ancestral memory of colossal reptilian beings. Others suggest the dragon's return could be symbolic, not physical, a manifestation of ecological imbalance and cosmic retribution. Ancient texts describe dragons as guardians of natural harmony. When balance falters, dragons rise in fury. In the modern world, with melting glaciers, raging wildfires, and polluted skies, it's as if the world itself cries out, and in that chaos, dragons stir once more in dream and symbol alike. Astrophysicists studying plasma phenomena even note dragon-shaped formations in cosmic storms, massive plasma flows resembling serpentine bodies across nebulae. To mystics, this is not coincidence, but cosmic reflection, the dragons of heaven mirroring the turmoil of earth. Perhaps Chapter 5, The Prophecies of Fire. Nearly every culture carries a prophecy concerning the return of dragons. The Norse spoke of Ragnarok, where Jormungandr, the world serpent, would rise from the sea, poisoning the sky. In Chinese prophecy, the five-dragon convergence foretells a time when dragons will descend to restore the balance between heaven and man. The Book of Revelation describes a great red dragon that appears as the final harbinger of change. Celtic seers predicted that when the red and white dragons awaken, Britain's destiny would shift, a myth echoed in the story of Merlin, who saw dragons battling beneath a crumbling tower. These prophecies, long dismissed as poetic warnings, are being re-examined by modern mythologists. Many note that they often align with times of great upheaval, climate disaster, war, or moral decline. The dragon's return, then, is not an apocalypse, but a reckoning, a reminder of forces far greater than human arrogance. In some traditions, dragons do not bring destruction, but renewal. Fire purifies, water heals, air breathes life, and earth nourishes. The dragons embody all these elements. Their return may signify not doom, but the rebirth of balance, a call for humanity to remember its sacred bond with the world. Chapter 6. Hidden Evidence. Throughout the 21st century, explorers and cryptozoologists have uncovered strange evidence suggesting that something unusual may indeed be stirring. In 2007, a team in the Gobi Desert discovered enormous claw impressions far too large for any known reptile species. The prints vanished days later under a sandstorm. In 2015, deep-sea explorers off the coast of Japan recorded sonar readings of a massive moving creature, serpentine in shape, nearly 150 feet long. The footage was classified and later lost. Most compelling of all are the ancient texts rediscovered in monasteries and archives. The Chronicles of Mu, a fragmentary record found in Tibet, describes dragons as keepers of the world's pulse who sleep beneath the lines of power that crisscross the earth, what we now call ley lines. The text warns that when human greed corrupts these lines, the dragons awaken to burn away the poison. Modern researchers mapping electromagnetic anomalies along ley lines have indeed found strange energy surges in volcanic and mountainous regions, ancient dragon territories. Coincidence? Or quiet proof that something ancient is stirring beneath our feet? Chapter 7. the modern encounters. In 2021, a pilot over the Andes reported a winged, metallic creature rising above storm clouds. Its movements defied aerodynamics. The radar recorded nothing. Days later, villagers in the valleys below described fire raining from the sky. A year later in Mongolia, herders told of a horned serpent coiling across the desert at night, glowing like molten iron. Scientists investigating the site found magnetic distortions that disrupted electronic devices. Even in Western countries, reports of dragon-like apparitions are growing. In the United States, a viral post described a glowing draconic silhouette over the Rocky Mountains during a thunderstorm. Meteorologists attributed it to lightning and cloud reflection, but locals swore they heard a roar that shook the valley. These stories might seem fantastical, but they share consistent traits: sightings near electromagnetic disturbances, volcanic zones, or storms, places tied to immense natural energy. If dragons were indeed elemental beings, such areas would be the very veins through which their life force flows. Perhaps what we are witnessing is not the re-emergence of physical creatures, but the awakening of Earth's forgotten spirits, manifesting once more in the form humanity has always known them. Dragons. Chapter 8. Dragons and the Human Soul. To understand the dragon's return, one must understand what they represent within us. Dragons embody humanity's duality: creation and destruction, wisdom and rage, freedom and fear. They are mirrors of our own spirit. When ancient people saw dragons, they saw nature's power personified: the storm, the flame, the flood. In taming dragons, heroes symbolically conquered chaos within themselves. But in modern times, humanity has forgotten the balance. We have conquered nature, exploited it, and replaced reverence with domination. The dragon's return, then, might be an awakening of conscience, a re-emergence of the mythic truth that nature cannot be subdued without consequence. The dragon rises whenever humanity oversteps, reminding us that creation and destruction are two sides of the same flame. In Jungian psychology, the dragon is the shadow, the primal force buried within the collective unconscious. To face the dragon is to face our own suppressed fears, greed, and desires. And to slay it is not victory, but denial. The true hero learns to befriend the dragon, to harness its power with humility. Thus, the modern resurgence of dragon imagery, in art, media, and dreams, may reflect an instinctual awakening. Humanity senses the imbalance and yearns for reconciliation. The dragon has returned not to destroy us, but to remind us of what we have forgotten. Chapter 9. Guardians of the Future. In myth, dragons were keepers of treasure, not merely gold, but knowledge, power, and truth. Perhaps the greatest treasure they guard is wisdom itself. As we stand on the edge of ecological and spiritual collapse, the dragon's lessons are more vital than ever. They teach that power without respect leads to ruin, that every fire, no matter how bright, consumes unless tempered by understanding. They remind us that to coexist with nature is to coexist with the dragon within. Across the world, new spiritual movements have emerged: dragon paths in Wales, the dragon dreaming in Australia, long rebirth in China, each invoking dragon symbolism to promote harmony with nature, sustainable energy, and collective renewal. Even in technology, artificial intelligence, and energy systems draw inspiration from the dragon's elemental symbolism: controlled fire and flow. In this way, the dragons truly have returned, not as beasts of scale and claw, but as symbols guiding humanity toward transformation. The legends are alive again, not in ancient scrolls, but in human hearts. When fire meets the sky again, the return of the dragons is more than a myth reborn. It is a mirror of our times. Whether we see them as celestial beings, elemental forces, or archetypal symbols, dragons remain the embodiment of power balanced by wisdom. Perhaps one day the skies will blaze with wings of flame once more, and we will stand in awe, not of destruction, but of renewal. Perhaps their return will not be marked by terror, but by understanding that humanity, at last, is ready to share the world with the mysteries it once feared. Until then, the dragons wait, in the clouds above storms, in the fire of the earth, and in the depths of every human soul. For the dragon's true return is not in the sky, but within us, whenever we awaken to the power, beauty, and responsibility of life itself. The echoes of dragons remind us that legends never truly die, they evolve, waiting to rise again in the hearts and imaginations of humankind. Whether symbols of power, wisdom, or chaos, dragons continue to shape our stories and beliefs, bridging the ancient and the modern. Could their return be closer than we think? If you enjoyed this journey into myth and mystery, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Until next time, keep your eyes on the skies, for the age of dragons may yet return. The legend lives on in the return of the dragons.